Welcome to Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates, presented by the Dallas Examiner. I'm Molly Finch Belt, publisher of the Dallas Examiner. The Dallas Examiner has presented Monday Night Politics for over 12 consecutive years prior to elections. The Dallas Examiner does not endorse candidates. We seek to inform the community so that when they go to the polls, they are informed voters. All candidates who provide their email addresses on their applications when they file for office are invited to participate in Monday Night Politics. Monday Night Politics is not a debate, it's a forum designed to inform the community about the candidates' qualifications, their platform, etc. We could not present Monday Night Politics without our sponsors, who are nonprofit organizations, and they do not endorse either. In addition to Monday Night Politics, our website, www.dallasexaminer.com, has a section for voter education. Here you'll find current information about voting. Visit www.dallasexaminer.com. I would be remiss if I didn't mention two people who have worked with Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates behind the scenes for over 12 years. The first person is Robin Jimenez, Vice President of Production and Editorial at the Dallas Examiner. The other person is Christy Thomas, Monday Night Politics Advisory Committee. We are happy tonight to have as our moderator Charles O'Neill. Charles is president of the Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce, and he was the first editor for the Dallas Examiner when the newspaper was founded by my father in 1986. Thank you for attending the forum tonight.
And welcome to Monday Night Politics, brought to you by the Dallas Examiner, an open forum for candidates for, in this case tonight, judicial races, attempting as best we can to have these candidates familiarize you, our listeners and viewers, not only with them and their candidacy, but with just what it is that their courts do, the function of those courts, and how critical it is that you be aware enough of that to make a wise decision on Election Day. We have with us tonight, as candidate for Dallas County Criminal Court at Law Number 4, Ms. Angel Mata. Okay, Angel Mata. Thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you so much for spending your Valentine's with me today. Again, my name is Angel Mata. I am running for County Criminal Court Number 4. I'm running on my ability to be fair, my ability to be compassionate, and most importantly, on my experience. I have been a practicing attorney now for 12 years. I graduated SMU Dedman School of Law here in Dallas. And there's a saying that the best defense attorneys are prosecutors first. And so right out of law school, I went and I prosecuted for 4 years. So I did that in McLennan County, and then I left in Dallas County. For the last 8 years, I have been a defense attorney, and I've done everything from Class C tickets all the way up to murder cases. So I have my own practice doing criminal defense. In addition to that, I was actually appointed a bench 7 years ago. So on top of my practice, I'm also a municipal judge out in the city of Hutchins. If you've ever gone down 45, it's right south of Dallas. So I've been doing that now for 7 years. I am a Dallas native. I grew up not too far from here. If you just go down Sain or Military, I grew up in Pleasant Grove. I'm a graduate of Skyline High School, and I grew up, I'll tell you, in the streets of Pleasant Grove, and I saw the injustices that were happening to family, to friends, and that's what inspired me to be an attorney. That's what inspired me to now run for a bench. I've been out in the community, whether it's marching on the footsteps in Austin. In undergrad, I interned in law school, I interned for the ACLU. And then currently I go out to schools and I speak about police interactions to our youth to ensure that they get home safely when they're dealing with the police. Again, Angel Mata for County Criminal Court Number 4.
Ms. Mata, you've heard some of the earlier races, and we've talked about diversion programs and other efficiency measures, virtual courts and those kind of things. What about your candidacy, and should you be elected, will make a dramatic improvement in the way this court functions?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you this about Dallas County courts. So there are a number of different pretrial diversion programs throughout the courts. For example, Judge Kelly had the homeless diversion court for homeless people that I volunteered at. You have Judge Birmingham with the AIM court. You have drug court. But one thing that disqualifies people from the courts is a language barrier. If you don't speak English, you don't qualify for any pretrial diversion program in Dallas. Whether you're speaking Spanish, whether you're speaking Mandarin or anything else, you do not qualify hands down because they don't have a translator for you. So what I want to see is, so we have a pretrial diversion court that can bring in some translators to allow these people, allow our community to be able to have access to pretrial diversion programs, because we're leaving out a large segment of the community by not allowing them and welcoming them into second chance programs, and we need to give everybody a second chance.
And I think I've framed this question a couple of times in other races, and I guess I'm going to ask you to kind of point fingers. Why it's not happening?
Why it's not happening, I'm not really certain. So I'll tell you this. So in our community, we're made up, and one of the other candidates mentioned it, you have about 40 to 45% of our community is Latino. But if you go down to that courthouse, there's only one Latino judge in that whole courthouse out of 29 courts. So I'm not really certain why. We don't have the number of people, the representation in our courthouse. And so when you go down there, there's not one single form that's not in English. Everything is in English, whether it's an Arab speaker, whether it's a Spanish speaker. What we need to do is ensure that they can read the documents, that we have the interpreters, we have the translators down there for them. So it's a really big issue, and I'm not really certain why it hasn't happened. I mean, it's easy as getting one document, getting an interpreter to translate it one time, copy it, and have it there forever. But not one court in that whole courthouse has any documentation in any other language besides English. Not certain why it's not being done, but that's something that I want to ensure that happens in my court, that my court is open to the whole community, not just a segment.
Well, given your very graphic description of the lack of diversity, if you will, on the bench, give us your thoughts on on elected versus appointed judges. It just came up in this last legislative session, and so I think the public needs to know that this is an issue, and that they should have a position and have some knowledge about what's going on.
No, absolutely. One of the biggest issues that we have is that the state of Texas is still a red state. It's still mostly run by Republicans, and so what you have is a Republican governor that oftentimes will appoint a Republican judge to sit in these benches. In a city or a county, Dallas County, that's all blue. We're all Democrats, but we'll have, because they're appointed, we'll have a Republican put in the place of where a Democrat normally would be elected. So I support elected judges.
This just occurred to me, so I haven't thought all the way through this question, but so partisanship in judge races, how does that work? I mean, just judges, right?
Exactly.
So why are there Democrats and Republican judges, and what is the difference, and what do you find to be the difference?
Well, I've always thought the exact same thing. Why are we, if we're supposed to be fair, if we're supposed to ensure that justice is the same throughout, it shouldn't make a difference whether the person is Republican or Democrat, but it does. Unfortunately, what we're seeing when we have some of these Republican judges, that they come in and they're a lot more conservative on sentences. They have less pretrial diversion programs, and so they don't align with our community. And so that's the biggest issue, that when you have the Republican versus the Democrats, and I think it's important for our community to know in which way that they align, whether or not they're going to be a conservative judge and throwing people in prison, locking them away, not giving them second chances, or are they the Democrats who give second chances, understand the community and the needs of Dallas County.
Okay, so in your closing statement, tell us why the election of Angel Mata will result in a better functioning Dallas County Criminal Court at Law Number 4.
Perfect. Well, apart from my experience, I am the most experienced in this race, but I'm also an advocate for the community. I do a great deal of volunteering, and that's something that I really pride myself on. Back in 2015, I made a goal to make sure that I give back more. I'd been giving back already, but I wanted to make sure that I was out there more in the community. And some of the different initiatives that I've been involved in, and one of the ones that I really pride myself on is I volunteer every month, and I've been doing so for the last 7 years at the C.A.W. Clark Legal Clinic in South Dallas at the Good Street Baptist Church. It's one of the only locations, there's only 3 or 4 locations where the great Dr. Martin Luther King spoke at, and I'm out there every single month providing free expunctions, providing information. I won the Volunteer Award of the Year in 2019. In 2015, I won an award for being a volunteer there. And I also won the Martin Luther King Dreamkeeper Award. I give back a great deal. I've been involved in the Homeless Diversion Court. I've been involved in the Dallas Expunction Expo, which really helped our community in clearing their records so they can get jobs. So I've been involved in the Expunction Expo in Dallas County, in Tarrant County, and through the DVAP program. It's really important to me that we give back to our community, that we help our community, and that's one of the reasons why I'm running for a judge. My experience, my compassion, my activism, and I am an advocate for criminal justice reform.
Outstanding. Outstanding. So thank you so much, Angel Mata, candidate for Dallas County Criminal Court at Law number 4. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, ma'am. Okay. And next up, we will have Dallas County Probate Court number 2. Thank you so much. Be careful.